This is the PJ&B Farm Partnership Don FD75 Overview and walk through some maintenance. So starting on this end of the combine, we have our contour buddy for adjusting the height. There's a crank handle and it'll raise and lower the height of the gauge wheels. We've got our draper tension, so to adjust the canvas on the header you will use a 15/16 wrench. Tighten this in. So inside here there's a white indicator and you want it to line up right in the middle, and that'll show that it's at the correct tension. There's also the little manual here that'll tell you how it should be adjusted. We've got our adapter system here with our gearbox, PTO shaft that connects to the combine, hydraulic filter. This control here is for the draper speed. This is where your hydraulics from the combine will connect, and then your electrical connections. Down here is your unlock and lock for float, so when you're transporting down the road it'll be in the up position. When it's in field, there's a button back here that you will unclick, and then it'll drop that arm down and it'll allow the whole adapter to float independently from the header. Up here is your wing lock for your flex on your flex draper system. So right now it's in the lock position for transport, and then the unlock position, it'll come down to there. We've got large springs behind here. Sometimes these can break with going over some bumps and stuff. So right now those are good. Here we have our main drum that has the retractable fingers for bringing the crop into the feeder house of the combine. On the left side there's a drive chain in behind here. There is some greasing points on this shaft right there. There's a grease nipple right where my finger is, and then on the other side there's a grease nipple here. There is grease nipple inside here on just below the lock transport, and same on the other side. This here is your knife tilt. Most of the time when we're operating, we will have the A all the way back here, so that this silver cylinder will be retracted all the way, and that'll keep the front of the header tipped up. When you have it tipped all the way to D forward like that, you're much more likely to hit rocks, damage the header, or pick up rocks, put them through the combine. So always try to have your knife cutting at A. So this will be retracted to here. This here indicates your float settings. So for auto header height, this indicator is going to move around, and there's an electronic potentiometer inside, and that'll give the combine reading to adjust the feeder house up or down. When we begin our settings, we place the header down to number 2, set it for that, and then the combine will always try to maintain the height at number 2. Underneath this panel there's a couple areas to grease quite frequently. Take a 9/16 wrench. So after you remove the bolt for the panel, you take this off. And there is a grease fitting here and a grease fitting here. And those should probably be greased daily. On the right side there's also this panel to remove with a 9/16 wrench as well, and the 2 grease fittings under there to be greased. Here is the whole hydraulic oil reservoir on the back header. So you can sometimes see the level. If this was clear, you would see the height for full would be on this top sight glass. For filling it up, clean around area that will require grease. Maybe once a week. It's not super important, but it's right inside there. Right there. Over on the cutting bar, we have our guards, our sickles, knife hold down. On the double knife drives, we have a half guard here that'll be for the left side. The right side one will be different. The next position, and for this section, and this section, it's a different part number that will end in 345, and then all of the remainder ones will end in 344. The only difference between the 345 and the 344 is the back side of the guard will be an open shoulder. The remainder are closed, and that will allow for room for the knife to move in and out a little bit as it wobbles back and forth. Down on the contour buddy gauge wheels, there is a grease fitting inside on each of the shafts. On the knife drive, we have a grease fitting here, but that will only take 2 pumps of grease. It should be greased daily, but do not over grease, as the grease will push down and cause excessive wear on the knife. Underneath the center feed draper, there will be a grease fitting on the left side and the right side. Those require grease daily, but only a couple pumps, as if you over grease, it'll push this cap off. There's also down at that shaft there, another grease fitting. On this upper cross auger, there's a couple grease points inside this little opening. There's a grease fitting in here. There's one on the other side as well. And then there should be a cross joint inside here that will require a little bit of grease. Inside this panel here, you may have to rotate the reel around, and there will be a grease fitting inside the cross joint. Up here, there's a grease fitting for inside that bushing. Over on the left side of the combine, or the header, I mean, another grease fitting up here, and another grease fitting on the knife drive, but only 2 pumps required.